And it is, I took a high dose of benfotiamine recently. So that's a fat soluble form of B1 for those of you who are watching. And for 2 to 3 months to try and help SIBO. And I didn't take the other B vitamins. It's okay. Interestingly, I noticed muscle loss. Okay, so benfo is fat soluble. It's going to operate a little bit different than a water soluble thiamine HCl or even TTFD. They all have slightly different biochemistry. The thing about noticing muscle loss, one of the things I would think about is that this kind of B1 could actually help with energy levels, which may mean we move more oxalate and which may have some unintended consequences. So it turns out, and this is something I didn't know before, but it makes sense to me. Turns out that our muscles can be used by the body to help the body deal with toxins. It's kind of like a backup system to the liver. And truly, every system in your body has multiple backup systems that can take some of the work. So the kidneys can do some of the things that the liver would do. They're just doing it by a different methodology in terms of getting it out of the system. Let's get into a little bit of technical terms here because I want you to understand. Detox is a very specific thing. And that is a process that the liver does where it takes a molecule, it manipulates it to make it less toxic, and then it gets rid of it. And sometimes via our bile, which can be an issue downstream. But this is one of the things that the liver is actually doing. It's actually taking molecules, manipulating them and making them less toxic and hopefully easier to excrete as well. The kidneys, on the other hand, are filters, straight ahead filters. So they're taking the blood in, they're filtering things out, they're concentrating it into urine, and then it's leaving the body that way. Very different. So detox is what the liver does, but get rid of toxins, excrete toxins, can be done other ways, like by the kidneys or via sweat glands, or you can even be getting rid of some things via the respiratory system. So one of the backups to the liver are actually muscles. So our muscles can be used by the body to try and take some of these molecules, manipulate them a little bit, and then try to get them into the lymph system or someplace else to get rid of them. But the problem there is that we start to use up this muscle tissue trying to do this detox that way. So it's not ideal. So with a high dose of benfo, fat soluble, so you can be hanging on to it, maybe you ended up doing some of that kind of detox work, like to take pressure off someplace else. And it may also have been that you need more other nutrients so that if you're doing a much better job of getting, I'm going to say, fuel being used in a cell, so that's B1's partially responsible for that, and it's going to help you to burn fatty acids, but also burn carbs for energy. It's possible that the improvement in how the cell was functioning, we can burn protein. Again, not ideal. What we really want to do is burn fatty acids or burn carbs, and we want to build with protein. But it may be that there was some higher need for protein intake that might not have been handled. So because this is a off the cuff answer, this is a hypothesis at this point. If I can find anything in the research which speaks more specifically to why any of the forms of B1 would contribute to muscle loss, I'll be happy to put that on the group when I've got that.